Sleepbus family, it's Simon here, and a big hello to everybody in Queanbeyan that are supporting the Queanbeyan Sleepbus, which is right behind me here. Just giving you a bit of a quick update on what's been happening. What's been happening, I guess, from Sleepbus from a Covid-19 perspective is we ended up with just me working here. We lost an employee that we had helping us to get these buses ready because we've got the Canberra one as well that we're building, and we're finishing off the pink sleep bus. And so that person, we aren't big enough and to be able to manage a, I guess, social distancing workplace. It's a very confined workplace, and so it's very hard to keep our distance while we're working. That person was also catching public transport coming to work each day and didn't feel comfortable to do that any longer, which I completely understand. And then my other counterpart, who's a family member, my son, who was helping me out here, he was on a trip and had to come home early and go into 14 days quarantine, so that left me by myself. So it was pretty tricky, pretty challenging, like it has been for everybody. But all I could do was just keep going, soldier on and come to work each day and do what I can as an individual as best I could. So then I started getting phone calls from suppliers saying that they're closing down, or, you know, have I got any work for them? And so that's where we're sort of at with the Queanbeyan Sleepbus as well as the Canberra Sleepbus, where our sign rider doing it tough. All the jobs have obviously stopped for a lot of sign riders now around the country. So we're busily prepping the buses to get them ready on the outside so that they can be painted, which I'll do that in the next couple of days, if not early next week, so the sign rider can come in late next week and do the sign writing, and I can pay him some money and look after them. They've been looking after me. I think it's only fair that I return the favour if I can. So normally we'd be very focused on the inside, getting everything sorted out there, and painting would be one of the last things we do, as well as signage. But in these different times, you've got to adapt, you've got to look after one another, and so we've decided that we'll put our efforts on fixing the buses up on the outside, get everything done that we need to on the outside. And it is a fair bit of work, and it's even harder when it's just one person. But it was important that we look after those that have been looking after us. I'll give you a bit of a look at the prep work that goes into getting a bus ready for paint, and then signage with the Queanbeyan Sleepbus. So one of the important things you need to know about buses is they all leak. When it rains, they leak. They've got leaks everywhere. So a lot of the time, although we've cut out half the windows, which is usually where the leaky parts come in, on our other side of the bus, where we do have windows, there's a lot of sealing to do, a lot of checking, spraying with hoses, waiting for rain, all those sorts of things. So you can see a lot of grey sort of patches along the bus there, where we've had to patch up sort of rust areas and those sorts of things, which is important to make it watertight, but it's also part of the inspection and roadworthy part of getting a sleep bus on the roads. So that means this bus here, other than two little touch-up bits that we've got to do and a very thorough wash, this will be getting painted in the next couple of days, and it will look a whole lot different. It won't look like the crazy Mad Max bus that it is right now, but it'll look much nicer and all one tone, which will be great. And then once the signage goes on as well, well, then it'll be transformed, as you can see here with the pink sleep bus that we've just completed here for Melbourne, which I'll give you a tour of as well, so you can see what that looks like as a finished sleep bus. And as you can see, once they're painted and the signage goes on, it looks amazing. So looking forward to the Queanbeyan sleep bus looking that great as a blue sleep bus. So what I was thinking I might do as a bit of a, I guess, tease is probably the wrong word, but to show you what we've built. I've got the pink sleep bus behind me there, which is now completed, and we're working with the health department and our own sort of teams to figure out how we can get this operational during this time. So that's proving to be a little bit tricky with volunteers and social distancing and all those sorts of things, but you know, these are challenges that we have to work through like everybody else does in business and in charity. So we'll work through that and do the best we can. But I thought I might give you a tour of this one, seeing this is pretty much what you'll be getting. So here we are, we're inside what is the Caretakers cabin, so the volunteers cabin, and this is where they can stay all night. It's also obviously the driving area in the front of the bus as well. But I'll give you a quick tour of what's in here and how it all works. So behind me here we have the console, I suppose, so the operations centre of this particular sleep bus. So we have all our dials and switches and all those sorts of things for doors, for lights, for USB chargers, and it controls all the battery and the power and everything for the whole system, including the climate control. So we have our security monitor here, so this is just going through a process at the moment, and so that can be moved to wherever we need it, but that displays all the video cameras around the outside of the bus and under the bus as well to the pet pods, so that we can keep an eye on things from inside the console, inside the Caretakers cabin area here as well. That monitoring system is also monitored by our third-party security company as well, so they keep an eye on things for us as well. They do regular patrols and those sorts of things, so that's sort of how that was. I'll give you a quick look at some of the switches there for those who are interested in those sorts of things. Our climate control, so there's two of those, two air conditioning and heating systems throughout the bus, and it's all ducted into each pod. And then we have our light switches, we have our door switches, pods, so that's all for the lights and speakers and all those sorts of things inside a pod. USB, so for charging people's phones and those sorts of things, and then all our TVs on and off as well. We have our intercom system throughout the bus as well, so we can keep our guests informed of what's happening, if there is anything happening, and so that's a way for us to communicate with them. And then we have all our switches down here, so we have all our door lights, and so we can operate those door lights individually or all at once, and the same for the doors, so we can open them all at once or individually as the case requires. I will open said doors and switch on said lights right now. So here we have a typical single sleep pod. So as you can see, it's got its Acosa mattress, Tontine pillows, and obviously we'll have sheets and doonas on there as well. Up the back there you can see the lights on there, so that's the console for our guests. So it has USB chargers, has reading lights, has the intercom there as well. So everything they'd need to keep themselves comfortable and occupied. And obviously we have TV as well, so they're also on swivels. So that DVD channel that you see that's up on the screen at the moment is usually our services channel, so it's a loop of ads of all the services available to somebody within a 2-kilometre radius of where the bus is parked. And obviously we have another bunk up the top here, same sort of thing, has all the same USB, lights, reading, intercom and TV, and a lovely single bed Acosa mattress. Underneath we have a toilet for emergency during the night if you need to go, and ducting and everything for the air conditioning. But it's quite a good space, quite a good size, much larger than what our original prototype was, which is fantastic. And so that's what a single pod looks like. In the back of this particular bus we have a double pod for maybe a family or something like that, a mum and a couple of kids or even more. So here we are with the double pod. So this is a massive space, or the family pod as we've sort of coined it. So this is 2 bunk double beds, or almost queen size beds if you like. So massive space, so mum and a couple of kids can share this space and feel comfortable all together. And obviously they still have the TVs, they still have the consoles with all the USBs, and that's for top and for bottom. And all the doors that open up on the side of the bus there, as you can see with their lights on, they also act as our weather shield, our veranda if you like. So hot, cold, wet, these doors can help protect us while we're onboarding people, which is fantastic. So that's become a really unique feature of what this bus can do, and how the new design is certainly improved on from the original sleep bus. So really pleased with how this has worked out. So we have these flat pack cages, so they come in all different shapes and sizes. They have covers that go over the top as well, and there's ducted heating and air conditioning in this space under here as well, so we can fit look, up to nine different size cages and pets underneath there, so it's a great space, and we've got this space, so we can certainly utilise it. With our doors, as I said before, we've got all these different switches here, so we can do all or individual. So if I want to shut pod 9, I'll just pull this one down, and pod 9 door can close, and we can leave all the other ones open. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed that tour. A lot of that behind the scenes work happening, and obviously, like I said, we're trying to help out our sign writer. So let's get that outside done. There's a fair bit of work to do in there, especially for one person, but got another person on deck now, and we will soldier on. So I guess the big question is, will this sleep bus be ready for winter? I honestly don't know. At this point in time, we're under the pump, no doubt about it. We've got suppliers that have closed down. Some of those may even go out of business, which is terrible. Other ones are still working for us, and we've got some things happening that we need for all of our buses at the moment with various suppliers, so that's great. I've ordered a lot of things as well that we need, and some of those are on their way. Some we're not sure, so we're going to have to see how those sorts of things go. But my focus has always been, since this hit, even when I was left by myself for about a month, was all I can do is focus on what I can do as an individual. There's many things that I can't control, which is the same case for everybody. But my focus was keep working, keep trying to get these ready for winter. We've got, what, 5 weeks? So that's what I'm continuing to do. And a lot can happen in 5 weeks. And the other things that we can't control is what's happening with borders, what's happening with social distancing, getting volunteers involved, and how do we keep them safe, and all those sorts of mind-boggling things that we would never have had to thought of a month ago, we now have to think about. I'm not focused on those just yet. My focus is, let's get the buses ready, and then when they're finished, let's have a look at what's happening in our states, in our country, and then see what we can and can't do, what challenges we're going to face, and then deal with those challenges as we need to. We'll literally get back to work on these buses now and keep going. So I thank you again for your support. I'll keep you posted as always, and stay safe and well. Take care. Bye-bye.